Hello, welcome to the Self Learning Podcast by Dr. Sushma Singh. Let us start discussion on Chapter 4, The Market as a Social Institution. And our topic is Understanding Capitalism as a Social System. One of the founders of modern sociology, Karl Marx, was also a critic of modern capitalism. Marx understood capitalism as a system of commodity production or production for market through the use of wage labor. As you have already learnt, Marx wrote that all economic systems are also social systems. Each mode of production consists of particular relations of production, which in turn give rise to a specific class structure. He emphasized that the economy does not consist of things, goods circulating in the market, but is made up of the relations between people who are connected to one another through the process of production. Under the capitalist mode of production, labor itself becomes a commodity because workers must sell their labor power in the market to earn a wage. This gives rise to two basic classes: capitalists who own the means of production, such as the factories, and workers who sell their labor to the capitalist. The capitalist class is able to profit from this system by paying the workers less than the value of what they actually produce, and so extracting surplus value from their labor. Marx's theory of capitalist economy and society provided the inspiration for numerous theories and debates about the nature of capitalism throughout the 19th and 20th centuries. Now, let us move to the next point: commoditization and consumption. The growth of capitalism around the world has meant the extension of markets into places and spheres of life that were previously untouched by this system. The commodification occurs when things that were earlier not traded in the market become commodities. For instance, labor or skills become things that can be bought and sold. According to Marx and other critics of capitalism, the process of commodification has negative social effects. The commodification of labor is one example, but there are many other examples in contemporary society. For instance, there is a controversy about the sale of kidneys by the poor to cater to rich patients who need kidney transplants. According to many people, human organs should not become commodities. In earlier times, human beings themselves were bought and sold as slaves. But today it is considered immoral to treat people as commodities. But in modern society, almost everyone accepts the idea that a person's labor can be bought and that other services or skills can be provided in exchange for money. This is a situation that is found only in capitalist societies, according to Marx. In contemporary India, we can observe that things or processes that earlier were not part of market exchange become commodified. For example, traditionally marriages were arranged by families, but now there are professional marriage bureaus and websites that help people to find brides and grooms for a fee. Another example are many private institutes that offer courses in personality development, spoken English, and so on. that teach students, mostly middle class youth, the cultural and social skills required to succeed in the contemporary world. In earlier times, social skills such as good manners and etiquette were imparted mainly through the family, or we would think of bargaining of privately owned schools and colleges and coaching classes as a process of commodification of education. Another important feature of capitalist society is that consumption becomes more and more important, not just for economic reasons but because it has symbolic meaning. In modern societies, consumption is an important way in which social distinctions are created and communicated. The consumer conveys a message about his or her socio-economic status or cultural preferences by buying and displaying certain goods, and companies try to sell their goods by appealing to symbols of status or culture. Think of the advertisements that we see every day on television and roadside hoardings, and the meanings that advertisers try to attach to consumer goods in order to sell them. One of the sociology's founders, Max Weber, was among the first to point out that the goods that people buy and use are closely related to their status in society. He coined the term status symbol to describe this relationship. For example, among the middle class in India today, the brand of cell phone or the model of car that one owns are important makers of socio-economic status. Weber also wrote about how classes and status groups are differentiated on the basis of their lifestyles. Consumption is one aspect of lifestyle, but it also includes the way you decorate your home and the way you dress, your leisure activities, and many other aspects of daily life. Sociologists study consumption patterns and lifestyles because of their cultural and social significance in modern life. Now, let us wind up the session and thank you very much for engaging yourself with the Self Learning podcast.